It was supposed to be a routine flight. Flight 2714, operated by American Airlines, had just taken off from Bradley International Airport in Connecticut. Its destination? Chicago O'Hare International Airport, a trip taken thousands of times without incident. The skies were clear, the ride was smooth, and inside the cabin, a calm rhythm had settled in. The seatbelt signs had just turned off, and passengers were stretching out, opening snacks, flipping through books, or popping in earbuds to pass the next couple of hours. For most people on board, it was just another day in the sky. But 30 minutes into the flight, that illusion shattered. From the rear of the aircraft, something felt off. It began with a shuffling sound. Then raised voices. Then a sudden, sharp crash that silenced the cabin like a pin drop. A man stood up, visibly agitated. He paced. He shouted something unintelligible. Some passengers glanced over nervously. A few whispered that maybe he was having a panic attack. Or possibly needed medical help. But what happened next was not confusion. It was violence. The man's name was Julius Jordan Priester, and he had no medical emergency. He had rage. And in just seconds, that rage was unleashed. Without warning, Priester lunged at a flight attendant. He grabbed them violently by the arms, slamming them hard onto the cabin floor. The thud echoed through the narrow aisles. Gasps filled the air. But it didn't stop there. Priester then attempted to drag the flight attendant down the aisle. Witnesses say he was shouting incoherently, his face twisted in anger. He looked out of control, unpredictable, dangerous. People screamed. Children clung to their parents. Several passengers jumped up in panic but froze, unsure of what to do. The flight crew leapt into action. One flight attendant slammed the emergency call button, sending a signal straight to the cockpit. Others tried to intervene. Shouting commands, trying to block Priester, attempting to protect their colleague. Passengers scrambled back to their seats, eyes wide with disbelief. One woman in row 17 described it later. It felt like something out of a horror movie. We were trapped in a metal tube, 30,000 feet in the air, and a man had just attacked someone. In the cockpit, the captain didn't hesitate. He picked up the intercom and made a decision no pilot ever wants to make. We are turning the aircraft around. Prepare for emergency landing. The flight, which was meant to soar westward toward the Windy City, now banked back toward Hartford, its point of origin. The cabin, still buzzing with panic, fell into an eerie silence. Flight attendants worked quickly to secure the aisles. The injured crew member was taken to the back for medical attention while others kept watch over Priester, who had finally been restrained with the help of passengers. Tension hung in the air like static. No one knew what had triggered the man, or whether things could still spiral further. When the plane finally touched down at Bradley International Airport, a full police response was already in motion. Officers and federal agents waited near the gate. The moment the plane came to a stop, law enforcement stormed the aircraft. Julius Jordan Priester was placed under arrest on the spot. He was handcuffed, escorted down the aisle he had tried to dominate, and removed from the plane under tight security. Some passengers clapped. Others sat in stunned silence. But for everyone on board, it was a flight they would never forget. In the hours after the emergency landing, video footage began surfacing online, shaky cell phone clips of police boarding the aircraft, of Priester being led away, of crying children being comforted by flight attendants. Passengers gave statements. Some posted first-hand accounts on social media. One user wrote, "I was 3 rows away from where it happened. He didn't just grab her. He slammed her. If people hadn't intervened. I don't want to think about what could have happened." Another commented, "Major respect to the flight crew. They acted fast, kept us calm, and got us on the ground safe. Heroes. Police car light the fallout." In the days following the incident, Priester was charged with assault and interference with flight crew, both federal offenses that carry serious consequences, potentially years of prison time. The assaulted flight attendant received medical treatment and is recovering. American Airlines issued a statement praising the crew's quick thinking and confirming that Priester is permanently banned from flying with the airline. A spokesperson said, "We are grateful for the swift action of our team and law enforcement. The safety of our crew and passengers is always our top priority. But the incident has sparked national conversation. People are asking, how was Priester allowed to board? Was there any indication of mental health concerns? And how can flight crews be better protected?" For now, the story of Flight 2714 serves as a grim reminder that even routine flights can turn dangerous in seconds, and that bravery at 30,000 feet matters more than we realize. What happened aboard Flight 2714 wasn't just a random act of violence. It was a wake-up call. A reminder that even 30,000 feet above the earth, where we expect peace and procedure, things can go horribly wrong in an instant. The assaulted flight attendant, though physically injured and emotionally shaken, is now recovering after receiving immediate medical attention. And while the crew's quick thinking and calm response prevented the situation from escalating even further, the psychological impact on everyone involved, crew and passengers alike, was deep. Many passengers say they haven't been the same since. One mother, who was traveling with her 7-year-old daughter, told a local news outlet, "My child screamed the whole way down when we turned back. She doesn't want to ever get on a plane again. How do I explain what happened to her without scaring her more?" Another passenger uploaded a video that quickly went viral, showing Julius Jordan Priester surrounded by police on the tarmac, being escorted away in handcuffs. The caption simply read, "This man endangered 100+ lives over nothing. Bust in silhouette, who is Julius Jordan Priester?" After the incident, people everywhere were asking the same question. Who is this man, and how was he allowed on the flight? Initial reports confirmed that Priester had no known criminal background, and no ties to terrorism or organized crime. There was no political motive, no act of protest, nothing that might explain the violence. Instead, questions immediately began to swirl around his mental health. Eyewitnesses described his behavior as erratic, aggressive, and possibly paranoid, long before the attack began. Some even recall seeing him muttering or looking agitated before boarding. And that raised a serious concern. If a passenger is visibly unstable, should they be allowed to board a plane? And if they are, what safeguards are in place to protect everyone else? Warning: the deeper issue, flight crew vulnerability. As online debate flared, a much deeper issue came to light, one that flight attendants have been warning about for years. Airline crews are vulnerable. They're trained in emergency procedures, customer service, and basic de-escalation techniques. But when someone becomes physically violent, they're left to fend for themselves, often without proper tools or backup. As one union representative put it bluntly, "We're expected to smile, serve drinks, calm babies, handle turbulence, and now apparently, wrestle violent passengers to the ground too. That's not what we signed up for." Many flight crews have called for better onboard safety protocols, stronger communication between airline staff and gate agents, and mental health screening for passengers exhibiting erratic behavior before boarding. Airplane departure, airline response and accountability. American Airlines issued a public statement the day after the incident. They praised the crew for their professionalism and bravery, and confirmed that Priester has been permanently banned from flying with them. They also pledged to provide full support to the injured crew member, including counseling, legal representation, and paid recovery leave. But beyond press releases and public outrage, this event sparked a nationwide conversation. What does accountability look like at cruising altitude? Julius Jordan Priester didn't just disrupt a flight. He endangered over 100 lives, traumatized children, injured a working crew member, and forced an emergency landing that cost thousands in diverted fuel, airport coordination, and flight delays. He now faces serious federal charges. Assault. Interference with a flight crew, a charge that carries up to 20 years in prison under U.S. federal law. This is no longer just a scary story. It's a criminal case, one that sends a message loud and clear. Brain a lesson in respect. But beyond the legal consequences, there's an emotional truth that hits even harder. The people in those uniforms, the flight attendants, the gate agents, the crew members who smile and help and serve us, they are human beings. They are trained professionals. And they deserve more than patience, they deserve protection. This isn't just about Julius Priester. It's about everyone who steps onto a plane, trusting that they'll get to their destination safely, and trusting that the people responsible for their safety won't have to fight for their own. Let this be a reminder. Respect isn't optional at 30,000 feet. It's essential.